As we continue our look into the integrated software synthesizers within Ableton Live, the next one we'll be covering will be Sampler. And it is indeed a full-featured sampling synthesizer. To start with, again, we're going to open up this project file, Instrument Demo. Then we'll come over and open up our device browser here. I'm going to double click on it to reset it, then open up Instrument and come down into Sampler. Again, I drop this on the track and it becomes a sampler track now. I'm going to click and again enable hot swapping here, come across the left and come into the synth category, then opening up the pads category by clicking here. Then we're going to go for fat heavy drone. And then I'm going to open up so we can see the sampler, clicking here on our rack. I'm going to remove the other components, click on reverb, delete, simple delay, delete, and now we have the sampler here. When we open it up to its zones, we can see that this actually has 4 different waveforms layered on top of each other. This gives us a very, very fat sound. So I'm going to hide the browser and temporarily hide the zones and pull my volume back so you can hear me speaking more clearly, and play again. Now back to our zones. We have an on-off button so we can hear each wave at a time. Let's listen. Turn that one off, turn the speaker on to hear the third wave. Turn that one off, hearing this one. Lower, and now moving up to the top one. Let's add all 4 back together again. And next to this we have a solo button, so if we want to hear just what one sample is contributing to complete sound, that's great. Now Sampler allows us to control zones in the 2 main ways that any sampler needs to, and that's by key position. So I can now choose just one of these samples and then pull it across. We'll have some of these sounds come in only when I play higher up on the keyboard. Here I play a low note, and by key zone only this one enters in. I play a higher one. Now both these 2 are playing together. Still just these 2. Now all 3. Hear that higher frequency component. So again, we can take these zones and have any group of waveforms only come in at a certain point on the keyboard. Additionally, if we switch from key to velocity zoning, we can tell a sound to only come in when we play it hard or soft. Let's reestablish these, click and hold, pull them back to the end one at a time. Additionally, while we're here, let me say you can, if you get on this upper component, scale in one to gently fade in as you get higher. I'm getting up on the upper little bar, click and hold and pull back. Now to velocity zones. Let's take the first 2 and bring them down to a lower area. Then we'll take the top one, click and hold and drag it up so it only plays in a higher velocity. Then this third waveform plays all the time. So let's play a key. We get all 3, a little bit harder. Now we only get the one wave, playing really hard. And now we get both waves. Again, I'm going to reset that. And you can have velocity zones gently come in and out just as we did in the key zones. So we can have them play only with soft or hard hits or whatever we might choose in any combination. Now the sound we're currently working with has 4 layers. Sampler can handle many more layers. It's very powerful. Let's take a quick look at what we can do down here inside Sampler. First we have the sample group of parameters with all the basics. Let's turn on our root key tuning, being able to detune and scale, volume, sustain, looping modes, release modes, loop settings. Next to that we have pitch settings here, and second oscillator that can interact with the sounds coming from all these others, and it can be an FM or AM. Now this is independent for each zone. Currently whatever zone we're on, this would apply to. Then we also have a filter and global section. Here's our filter's mode, and the ability to morph into another filter type through control of velocity or keyboard. We have cutoff frequency and resonance. We have a filter envelope that can move the filter over time. We also have some saturation or shaper down here, which can add some mild types of distortion to add some color. Here's the global section. Again, a global envelope generator and some global volume settings, panning, etc. Next to that, we have some extensive modulation capabilities. We have 3 built-in LFOs. Each one can be turned on and off independently. An additional auxiliary envelope generator that can be routed anywhere. Again, we can alter these by clicking in the box and dragging. And then a complete set of parameters down here for that auxiliary envelope generator to modulate or control something. And then finally, MIDI mapping. So we can see very quickly that the sampler built-in synthesizer is very powerful. Again, this is one of the optional ones that you can pay to get licensed and carried forth into your Ableton Live projects. Very tightly integrated and very, very powerful.